Happy New Year, everybody. I'm hoping you had a very good Happy New Year celebration. We have lots to celebrate, actually. For 2017, we have a lot to celebrate. Hillary Clinton lost. Donald Trump has actually helped destroy that politically correct virus that had contaminated the country. And now we see that being pushed aside. So we have made much progress. We literally stopped the enemy in their tracks and made them retreat. They are in a hasty retreat right now. They know that we won many battles in 2016. But I'm here to tell you that we have not won the war yet by any stretch of the imagination. And I was reminded of that tonight as I went out for my New Year's Eve celebration on the Las Vegas Strip. I was alarmed at what I saw. I saw the militarization of our streets in America. More on that later. I'll show you pictures of the soldiers with M16s. But before we get to that, I did ask myself a question when I was down there celebrating. I said, is this Obama's fault? When I saw these soldiers with M16s there, I asked myself, can I really blame this on Obama? Because I know really that Obama doesn't make all the decisions. I realize there's a shadow government behind the scenes with probably more power than Obama ever had or ever wish he had. But then I tell myself that even if it's not Obama's fault, guess what? He never did anything to help the situation, did he? Obama did not once condemn the police state. Obama did not once ever try to eliminate the militarization of the streets of America. He did not even do one iota to help the situation. But enough of talking about that knucklehead. He'll be gone soon enough. Before we get to the main story, I would like to show you the countdown on the Las Vegas Strip. This countdown I'm going to show you was from the Cosmopolitan building, right on the Strip, right beside the Bellagio, outside the fountains. Well, as you can imagine, it was kind of crazy out there. But all in all, they were a well-behaved crowd. Very well-behaved crowd. I think Americans are getting softer. They're not as ornery as they used to be 30 years ago. What was that? Some sort of Navy SEAL on the Bellagio Fountain Lake there? I don't know what that was, or I don't even know what that is. But let's get to the main story today. The first thing we're going to go to is the first line barrier. Now, this was a surprise to me when I first saw it, but I guess it should not really be a surprise at all, because if you're going to have military units on standby, you really do have to think in military terms here, don't you? So what we're looking at here is a first line barrier. So why would it be there? Think about this. If you had an enemy actor show up and they were in a heavily armed vehicle, or even a dump truck for that matter, what would make a perfect first line barrier? Well, these big, huge buses work perfect. So I will give them that. They're thinking this out. They have a plan. They're trying to protect the tourist, or of course that's the cover story. You see, for in reality, this show of force here, this militarization of our streets, Humvees and M16s on our streets, it really does not do anything to prevent a lone wolf attack, does it? No. What we're looking at here is nothing but a show of strength or brute force. But let's get back to the military planning aspect of this exercise. What we're looking at here is really nothing more than a soft exercise in place going on. Now, we already talked about this. The buses here are the first line barrier. That would help slow down any enemy actor who was coming through there with a heavy equipment or whatever their vehicle was. And then behind the buses, of course, you got the military crew there with their M16s. Now that's probably the most alarming part of the whole story is, you got the military guys there with the M16s, and the younger generation was acting like it was nothing. The younger generation is fully acclimated to this. Let me get right down to it. Let me tell you my gut feelings, what I first felt as soon as I saw all this. It was very clear to me. What I was looking at here was a whole younger generation who have become fully acclimated to this police state. They are fully acclimated to the militarization of America. We're talking paramilitary Humvees on the street, uniformed soldiers with M16s. And we have a younger generation who is okay with this. They have actually bought into this story that we are here to help you. Or we are from the government. We are here to protect you. This younger generation is in for a rude awakening. They have no idea what's coming down the road. Literally, it comes down to this. America, this is now a sick, diseased culture. And the little cream puffs out there, they don't even realize that they're living in a culture that is diseased. You got to go back to the 50s and the 60s to back when America was actually a healthy culture. It's so strange to me to watch it happen, to actually watch a culture go from relatively healthy culture, not perfect, but it was a healthy culture, to now a sick, diseased culture. This is what it comes down to. The militarization. This is more than just Humvees and M16s on the street. What this is about, it is a cultural disease, acclimating the slaves to a life in the police state. They're brainwashing these little cream puffs to be okay with M16s on the street. They're brainwashing them and conditioning them to say, oh, it's okay to have Humvees and uniformed soldiers right there when we're trying to have a celebration. I mean, we're trying to have a celebration here. I mean, would it really be asking too much if you had a little tent off to the side, a little structure off to the side, and you put the soldiers in there, you hide them away, you put the M16s and the hand grenades over there where nobody can see them as we have a little celebration? Would that be asking too much? Of course it would, if you really wanted to truly have a military unit on standby just in case there was something happen. That would be okay to have them off to the side in a tent. But no, what we're really talking about here is a show of force to make sure the cream puffs understand that this is a police state, and the militarization of our streets and all the urban areas with high density population. What they need to do, they have to make sure that this is a fully acclimated cream puff society. They must become accustomed to this new social environment where the colonel comes down and the colonel says, you will do as I say. When the colonel says jump, you will say how high, because that's just the way it works in the military. See, the last thing the colonel wants is to be able to say, what we have here is a failure to communicate. That doesn't work in the military. And it's not going to work in the militarization of America. So all you urbanized metropolitan areas out there, you get ready, because there's a 2-star general coming and he likes to give orders. Like this.